Taking a look at a developing story for tonight, Ukraine has ordered a full military mobilization in response to Russia's build-up of its forces in Crimea. Now, as tensions reached their worst since the Cold War, Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk said Ukraine was on the brink of disaster. In Crimea, Ukrainian soldiers faced off with Russian soldiers surrounding their bases, while the Russian army is said to be digging trenches on the border with the mainland Ukraine. Meanwhile, US President Barack Obama told Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday that Russia had committed a clear violation of Ukrainian sovereignty by sending forces into Crimea and warned of consequences.
In a written statement outlining what was discussed in a 90-minute phone call between Obama and Putin, the White House said, quote, "The United States condemns Russia's military intervention into Ukrainian territory," unquote. The White House said the United States will suspend participation in preparatory meetings for the G8 summit in Sochi, Russia. The Kremlin said Putin responded by saying that Moscow reserves the right to protect its interests and those of Russian speakers in Ukraine. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon also spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the telephone yesterday about the situation in Ukraine.
I am gravely concerned by some of the recent events, in particular those that could in any way compromise the unity, sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country. It is crucial to restore calm and proceed to an immediate de-escalation of the situation. Cool heads must prevail and dialogue must be the only tool in ending this crisis. I appeal to President Putin to urgently engage in direct dialogue with the authorities in Kiev.
Russia and Western nations on the UN Security Council accused each other of meddling in Ukraine's internal affairs yesterday, as the United States called for the immediate deployment of international monitors to the former Soviet Republic.
It is ironic that the Russian Federation regularly goes out of its way in this chamber to emphasize the sanctity of national borders and of sovereignty. But Russian actions in Ukraine are violating the sovereignty of Ukraine and pose a threat to peace and security.
Meanwhile, Ukraine has put its armed forces on full combat alert and warned Russia that any military intervention in the country would lead to war.
There are no grounds for this act of aggression. All statements made by the Russian leadership that Russian-speaking citizens of Ukraine or Russian citizens are under threat have been made up and are untrue. The Ukrainian state protects all citizens of Ukraine, no matter which region they live in, which language they speak, which church they attend. I gave an order, taking into consideration potential aggression, to put Ukrainian armed forces on full alert.
Meanwhile, a small group of demonstrators gathered outside the US Embassy in Kiev, holding up signs, "Help us, follow your obligations and save us from Russia." The protesters were asking for support from the international community, particularly the United States.